Mount Everest, the highest mountain on Earth, has a history that stretches back millions of years and is deeply intertwined with geological processes, cultural traditions, and human exploration. The mountain, standing at 8,848.86 meters above sea level, is part of the Himalaya range and serves as a testament to Earth's dynamic history and humanity's insatiable desire for exploration. The formation of Mount Everest can be traced back to the collision of the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates, a process that began around 50 million years ago. As the Indian plate pushed northward into the Eurasian plate, the immense pressure caused the land to buckle, forming the towering Himalayas. This ongoing process continues to push Everest higher each year by a few millimeters. The rock compositions found on Everest include metamorphic, sedimentary, and igneous formations, with marine fossils discovered at high altitudes, evidence that the region was once submerged under an ancient ocean. Long before Western explorers arrived, Mount Everest was deeply embedded in the spiritual and cultural beliefs of the local Tibetan and Nepalese communities. In Tibetan culture, the mountain is known as Chomolungma, meaning Goddess Mother of the World, and has been revered as a sacred site for centuries. The Nepalese name, Sagarmatha, translates to forehead of the sky. These names reflect the mountain's divine status among the indigenous Sherpa and Tibetan peoples, who regarded it with immense reverence and respect. Even today, many Sherpa climbers perform religious ceremonies before beginning their ascents to seek blessings and protection from the mountain gods. Despite its cultural significance, the Western world remained unaware of Mount Everest's existence until the 19th century. During the Great Trigonometric Survey of India conducted by the British in the mid-19th century, surveyors identified the peak as the highest point on Earth. Initially referred to as Peak 15, it was later named after Sir George Everest, a British Surveyor General of India, despite his personal objections to the naming. The recognition of Everest as the world's tallest peak sparked interest among Western explorers and mountaineers. The first serious attempts to survey and climb the mountain began in the early 20th century, largely led by British expeditions. However, due to political restrictions imposed by Tibet and Nepal, access to the mountain was extremely limited. It was not until the 1920s that expeditions were permitted to explore the northern route via Tibet. The first major expedition took place in 1921, led by Colonel Charles Howard Berry. Although this was primarily a reconnaissance mission, it provided valuable insights into the mountain's geography and potential climbing routes. In 1922, George Mallory and his team made the first official attempt to summit Everest, reaching an altitude of 8,225 meters before being forced to turn back due to severe weather and lack of oxygen. In 1924, Mallory and Andrew Irvine made another historic attempt. They were last seen ascending near the summit before disappearing into the mist. The mystery surrounding their fate remains one of the greatest unsolved puzzles in mountaineering history. Mallory's body was discovered in 1999, but whether he and Irvine reached the summit before perishing remains unknown. For nearly 3 decades after Mallory and Irvine's ill-fated attempt, Everest remained unclimbed. In 1953, Sir Edmund Hillary from New Zealand and Tenzing Norgay, a Sherpa from Nepal, made history by becoming the first confirmed climbers to reach the summit. Their successful ascent on May 29, 1953, via the South Col route from Nepal, was a momentous achievement, and a testament to human endurance and teamwork. Their triumph was celebrated worldwide and marked the beginning of an era of high-altitude mountaineering. Following Hillary and Norgay's historic ascent, Everest attracted climbers from around the globe. In 1960, a Chinese team claimed the first successful ascent via the North Ridge. In 1963, an American team achieved the first successful ascent via the challenging West Ridge route. As mountaineering technology improved, climbers attempted increasingly difficult routes and conditions, leading to numerous records being set, including the first winter ascent in 1980 by a Polish team led by Krzysztof Wielicki and Leszek Syci. However, with the growing number of climbers came increased risks and tragedies. The 1970s and 1980s saw several deadly expeditions, but none were as infamous as the 1996 disaster, in which 8 climbers lost their lives in a severe storm near the summit. The tragedy, widely documented in John Krakauer's book Into Thin Air, brought global attention to the dangers of commercialized expeditions and overcrowding on Everest. The 21st century has seen a surge in commercial climbing, with numerous guiding companies offering Everest expeditions. While this has allowed more people to attempt the summit, it has also led to ethical and environmental concerns. The mountain has become littered with waste left behind by climbers, and the increasing number of inexperienced climbers has contributed to fatal incidents. In 2014, an avalanche killed 16 Sherpas, leading to debates about the exploitation and risks faced by local guides. In 2019, overcrowding on the summit led to multiple deaths, further highlighting the dangers of mass tourism on Everest. Despite these challenges, Everest remains an enduring symbol of human ambition and resilience. Climbers from around the world continue to be drawn to its slopes, each seeking to conquer the peak that has fascinated humankind for centuries. The legacy of Everest is one of triumph, tragedy, and an ongoing relationship between humanity and the natural world, a story that continues to unfold with every ascent.